Welcome to the Love and Lust Lounge audiobook, The Enchanted Mind, Unlocking Inner Magic. Introduction. There is a quiet magic within you, one that doesn't shout, but whispers. It lives beneath the surface of everyday thought, waiting patiently to be remembered. The Enchanted Mind, Unlocking Inner Magic is a journey into that unseen realm, a space where intuition speaks, imagination leads, and possibility expands beyond logic. In a world that so often praises the rational and the visible, we forget that the most powerful transformations begin in the invisible, in the mind, in the heart, in the energy we carry. This book is an invitation to rediscover the wonder you were born with, to awaken the inner spark that sees beauty in the mundane, meaning in coincidence, and strength in softness. Through reflections, stories, and soulful practices, you will learn to trust your inner compass, reconnect with your creative essence, and step into the enchanted world within, a world where your thoughts shape reality, and your spirit is free to play. The magic isn't out there. It's in you. It always has been. Element 1. The structure of the brain. The human brain is a highly complex and sophisticated organ, playing a vital role in shaping our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. It consists of billions of interconnected neurons that work together to process information and perform a wide range of functions. The brain is divided into various regions, each responsible for specific tasks. One of the most important areas is the cerebral cortex, which governs higher cognitive functions such as perception, language, memory, and decision-making. This outer layer of the brain is intricately folded, allowing for increased surface area and greater processing capacity. Beneath the cerebral cortex lies the limbic system, a crucial network that regulates emotions and behavior. Another key structure is the cerebellum, located at the back of the brain. The cerebellum is responsible for coordinating movement, balance, and motor control. It enables us to perform precise tasks like writing or playing a musical instrument with accuracy. Deep within the brain are the basal ganglia, which play an essential role in planning and executing voluntary movements. These structures are also involved in reward-based learning, helping us adapt and respond to positive reinforcement. Understanding the brain's structure offers valuable insights into how it operates as an integrated system. While each region has its own unique function, they all work in harmony to generate our thoughts, guide our actions, and shape our emotional responses. Next, let's explore another captivating aspect of brain function: how neurons transmit information seamlessly throughout this intricate network. Element 2. The role of neurons in neural communication. Neurons are vital to the brain's ability to transmit information and maintain constant communication throughout the nervous system. These specialized cells serve as the fundamental building blocks of the nervous system and are responsible for carrying electrical signals or impulses across the body. Each neuron is uniquely structured to perform this complex task. At the center of the neuron is the cell body, which contains the nucleus and other critical organelles. Extending from the cell body are dendrites, branch-like structures that function like antennas, receiving incoming signals from neighboring neurons. The most distinctive feature of a neuron is the axon, a long, slender fiber that transmits electrical impulses away from the cell body toward other neurons, muscles, or glands. Axons can vary greatly in length, from just a few millimeters to over a meter in some cases. Many axons are coated in a myelin sheath, a fatty insulating layer that enhances the speed and efficiency of signal transmission. When an electrical impulse reaches the end of an axon, it triggers the release of chemical messengers called neurotransmitters into tiny gaps between neurons known as synapses. These neurotransmitters bind to receptors on the dendrites or cell bodies of neighboring neurons, initiating a new electrical impulse and continuing the communication chain. Understanding how neurons transmit signals is essential to grasping more complex brain functions, such as perception, learning, and memory. This seamless neural communication forms the foundation for how we interpret the world around us. In the next section, we'll explore the psychology of perception, examining how this intricate network of neurons gives rise to our sensory experiences and shapes our understanding of reality. In summary, neurons are the core units of communication in the brain. Their structure and ability to transmit electrical impulses enable a vast, interconnected system that supports everything from basic reflexes to higher cognitive processes, all occurring without conscious effort. Underscore 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 un. Element 3. The psychology of perception. Perceiving the world around us is a fascinating and deeply personal experience that shapes how we understand reality. The psychology of perception refers to the complex mental processes through which we interpret and make sense of the constant stream of sensory information we receive. It is through perception that we recognize objects, identify faces, navigate environments, and even form social judgments. One key element in the psychology of perception is how the brain organizes and interprets visual input. Gestalt principles, for example, explain how we tend to perceive objects as unified wholes rather than as a collection of separate parts. This explains why we can recognize a circle made of scattered dots or identify a familiar face in a crowd by seeing the overall pattern rather than individual features. Perception is not purely objective, it is also shaped by internal factors such as expectations, past experiences, and cultural background. These influences can alter what we perceive, sometimes leading to optical illusions, where the brain's interpretation of sensory input differs from reality. Understanding perception has powerful implications for fields such as design, marketing, and education. Designers can create more intuitive visuals or user interfaces by accounting for how people naturally perceive shapes and patterns. Marketers can craft compelling advertisements by tapping into cognitive biases and perceptual shortcuts. Educators, too, can present information in ways that align with students' perceptual tendencies for better retention and engagement. In conclusion, perception is a complex, dynamic process that allows us to make sense of the world even though we rarely stop to think about it. The psychology of perception not only helps us understand how we interpret our surroundings but also explains why those interpretations can vary from person to person. As we move forward into the topic of memory, we'll see how perception lays the foundation for how we store, recall, and give meaning to our experiences, all without needing to consciously track every moment. Element 4. Memory and its processes. Memory is a remarkable cognitive function that allows us to process, store, and retrieve information, helping us build personal narratives and make sense of the world around us. It plays a vital role in shaping our identity, guiding our decisions, and supporting everyday functioning. At its core, memory involves three key processes: encoding, storage, and retrieval. Encoding is the process of transforming sensory input into a format the brain can store. It requires attention, as we selectively focus on certain stimuli while filtering out others. The more meaningful or emotionally charged the information, the more likely it is to be encoded effectively. Storage refers to the retention of encoded information over time. However, memories are not stored as perfect snapshots. Instead, they are reconstructed and influenced by personal experiences, emotions, and beliefs. This makes memory dynamic and sometimes unreliable. Retrieval is the process of accessing stored information when it's needed. Sometimes this happens effortlessly, while in other instances it requires conscious effort or specific cues. Difficulty retrieving information can be caused by interference from other memories or decay over time. Understanding how memory works has valuable real-world applications. In education, techniques like repetition, elaboration, and mnemonics can enhance encoding and improve long-term retention. In therapy, recognizing how memories are reconstructed can help individuals process past experiences. In everyday life, using retrieval cues such as associating information with a place, emotion, or sound can make recalling important details easier. As we delve deeper into the role of attention and focus, it becomes clear that these functions are closely tied to memory. Attention acts as a mental filter, determining which sensory inputs are processed and encoded, while focus directs our cognitive resources toward relevant information. Together, these abilities influence not only how we remember but also how we perceive and interpret the world. In summary, memory is a dynamic and essential system that underpins our thoughts, behaviors, and sense of self. By better understanding how it works, we can enhance learning, improve recall, and gain deeper insight into how our minds construct the reality we experience. Element 5. The power of attention and focus. Paying attention and staying focused on the present moment unlocks the full potential of our memory and helps us form deeper, more meaningful connections with the world around us. Attention and focus are essential cognitive tools that shape how we perceive, process, and remember information. When we direct conscious attention to something, we prioritize it in our minds, increasing the likelihood that it will be successfully encoded into long-term memory. Research has shown that attention works like a mental spotlight, allowing us to select and process specific information from our external environment or internal thoughts. By narrowing our focus and minimizing distractions, we enhance our capacity to absorb and retain information. This kind of focused attention helps filter out irrelevant details, strengthening the neural pathways involved in memory formation. In addition, sustained attention, the ability to concentrate over an extended period, is key to creating lasting memories. When we maintain focus, we engage in deep processing, linking new information with what we already know, which leads to more effective encoding. One powerful way to train attention and focus is through mindfulness practices. Mindfulness involves purposefully bringing our awareness to the present moment, without judgment or attachment. This mental state improves cognitive control and sharpens our ability to regulate attention, making it easier to stay engaged and alert. In conclusion, the ability to pay close attention and remain focused is a powerful asset for improving memory and cognitive performance. By training ourselves to be present and mindful, we enhance our learning, improve recall, and build stronger mental connections with our environment. Understanding the impact of attention on memory also sets the stage for our next topic: the science of emotions, a key factor that influences not just memory and cognition, but our overall well-being. Element 6. The science of emotions. Emotions have a powerful influence on our cognitive processes, shaping how we perceive the world and affecting our overall well-being. While often thought of as fleeting feelings, emotions are actually complex physiological and psychological responses that serve essential roles in how we experience and respond to our environment. Research has shown that emotions directly impact key cognitive functions such as attention, memory, and decision-making. For instance, when we feel anxious or stressed, our ability to concentrate is compromised. Our attention becomes scattered, making it harder to focus and process information efficiently. This highlights how emotional states can either enhance or hinder cognitive performance. Emotions also play a significant role in memory. Studies have demonstrated that emotionally charged events are more likely to be remembered than neutral ones, a phenomenon known as the emotional enhancement effect. When something evokes a strong emotional response, the brain tags it as important, increasing the chances it will be stored in long-term memory for future use. In the realm of decision-making, emotions often guide our choices. Positive emotions, such as excitement or optimism, tend to encourage risk-taking behaviors, while negative emotions, like fear or sadness, can lead to more cautious and conservative decisions. These emotional influences operate even when we are not fully aware of them, subtly shaping our preferences and actions. Understanding the science behind emotions is essential for optimizing mental performance and supporting emotional health. By becoming more aware of how emotions influence our perceptions and thinking patterns, we can begin to develop effective emotional regulation strategies. This can lead to better decision-making, improved focus, and a greater sense of control over our mental and emotional lives. In conclusion, emotions are not just background feelings, they are integral to the way we think, remember, and interact with the world. Recognizing their impact allows us to work with, rather than against, our emotions as we strive for greater clarity, balance, and well-being. Element 7. The cognitive processes of thinking and reasoning. Engage your mental gears as we explore the intricate workings of thought, the very foundation of how we solve problems, make decisions, and understand the world. Our minds are extraordinary systems, constantly analyzing, organizing, and interpreting information to help us navigate life's complexities. Two of the most vital cognitive functions involved in this process are thinking and reasoning. Thinking is the mental manipulation of information. It involves drawing on various cognitive skills including perception, attention, memory, and problem-solving to analyze data, generate ideas, and form conclusions. When faced with a challenge or decision, our brains instinctively begin a sequence of steps. We gather relevant information, assess it through logical or creative strategies, and evaluate potential solutions before reaching a conclusion. Reasoning, while closely linked to thinking, refers more specifically to how we draw conclusions based on existing knowledge or evidence. There are two main types of reasoning. Deductive reasoning, which starts with general principles and applies them to specific cases. Inductive reasoning, which begins with specific observations and extrapolates them into broader generalizations or theories. Understanding how thinking and reasoning operate allows us to improve our cognitive effectiveness. By identifying biases that can distort our reasoning or adopting strategies that strengthen memory and logical processing, we can train ourselves to think more clearly and critically. Moreover, developing strong thinking and reasoning skills is essential not only for solving everyday problems but also for innovation, academic success, and decision-making in high-stakes environments. As we move into the next section, the influence of language on the mind, it becomes clear that the words we use and the language we think can have a profound effect on how we interpret, reason, and engage with the world around us. Element 8. The influence of language on the mind. Language, with its intricate structure and rich expressions, is more than a tool for communication. It is a powerful force that shapes the very way we think, perceive, and understand the world. It weaves the fabric of our reality, influencing not only our individual thoughts but also our shared cultural experiences. Through language, we express our ideas, emotions, and experiences. But language does more than describe reality, it frames it. Research shows that the language we speak can influence how we categorize and interpret the world. For example, some languages contain words for specific colors that don't exist in others, leading speakers to perceive and differentiate colors in unique ways. Similarly, grammatical structures can affect how we think about time, space, and causality. For instance, a language that emphasizes verb tenses may encourage its speakers to view time more linearly, while others might foster a more fluid perception of temporal relationships. Language not only reflects our thoughts, it actively shapes them. The words we choose to describe events or people can influence how we feel about them. Studies have found that when individuals are given ambiguous scenarios and asked to describe them using either positive or negative language, their interpretations align with the tone of the words they used. This phenomenon demonstrates how linguistic framing can alter perception and memory. Beyond the individual level, language helps define cultural values and collective worldviews. The concepts and expressions embedded in a culture's language reveal what that society considers important. In turn, this shapes group thinking patterns, guiding social behavior, norms, and beliefs. In essence, language is far more than a communication system. It is a cognitive lens through which we experience and interpret life. It influences how we perceive the world, how we relate to others, and how we construct reality itself. As we transition into the next section exploring the development of the mind from infancy to adulthood, we'll see how language plays a foundational role in shaping cognitive growth throughout every stage of life. Element 9. The development of the mind from birth to adulthood. As humans grow from infancy to adulthood, the maturation of our cognitive abilities and the acquisition of knowledge shape how we understand and interact with the world around us. From the moment we are born, our brains are constantly developing, adapting, and responding to new experiences. In infancy, our brains undergo rapid growth, forming millions of neural connections. This early period is crucial for laying the foundation for future learning and development. The experiences we encounter during this time directly influence how our brains will process and store information in the future. As we transition into childhood, our cognitive abilities become more refined. We begin to process information more efficiently, and our problem-solving skills develop. One of the most significant milestones in this phase is the development of language skills, which allow us to communicate and interact with others in increasingly complex ways. Our capacity for abstract thinking also begins to emerge, enabling us to understand concepts such as cause and effect and develop early forms of reasoning. During adolescence, our minds continue to mature. We gain a deeper understanding of who we are and how we relate to the world. Critical thinking becomes more pronounced as we start questioning the beliefs and ideas that have been presented to us. Our ability to reason logically and make informed decisions advances, and we become better at evaluating situations and solving problems. By the time we reach adulthood, our cognitive development has reached its peak. Over the years, we have accumulated a vast amount of knowledge through formal education, personal experiences, and interactions with others. Our thinking becomes more sophisticated as we integrate different perspectives, weighing multiple factors when making judgments or solving problems. The development of the mind from birth to adulthood is a complex process influenced by numerous genetic, environmental, cultural, and social factors. Understanding this journey allows us to appreciate the intricate nature of human cognition and the ways it shapes our perception of reality. As we transition to the next section on the influence of surroundings on mental health, it is important to recognize that external factors, not just internal cognitive processes, can significantly impact our psychological well-being. Element 10. The impact of environment on mental health. As we've explored, the development of the mind from birth to adulthood is a complex and multifaceted process. However, it's equally important to recognize that this cognitive development does not occur in isolation. The environment plays a significant role in shaping our mental health throughout our lives. Research has consistently shown that the environment can profoundly influence psychological outcomes. For example, growing up in a disadvantaged community with limited resources and opportunities is strongly associated with higher rates of depression and anxiety. Similarly, childhood exposure to violence or trauma can increase the risk of developing mental health disorders later in life. Conversely, a supportive and nurturing environment can promote positive mental health. Stable family relationships, access to quality education, and strong social support networks have all been identified as protective factors that can help prevent mental illness and foster resilience. It's also crucial to understand that the impact of the environment on mental health extends beyond childhood. Throughout our lives, various environmental factors continue to affect our psychological well-being. Workplace conditions, social relationships, and the availability of community resources all play significant roles in shaping our mental state and coping abilities. By understanding how environmental factors influence our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, we can take proactive steps to create environments that promote mental health and well-being. This knowledge is essential not only at the individual level but also within society as a whole. With a solid understanding of the relationship between mind and environment, we can now turn our attention to the intricate relationship between the mind and the body, exploring how the two systems influence each other in profound ways. Element 11. The relationship between mind and body. To truly understand the connection between our thoughts and physical well-being, we must explore the intricate interaction between emotions, bodily sensations, and mental processes. The mind-body relationship is a complex dance that significantly influences our overall health and quality of life. Research shows that our thoughts and emotions have a profound effect on our physical health. For example, stress can trigger a range of physical symptoms, including an increased heart rate, muscle tension, and digestive issues. In contrast, positive emotions like happiness and contentment have been linked to improved immune function and cardiovascular health. One of the ways the mind influences the body is through the release of stress hormones, such as cortisol. These hormones can accumulate in the body due to chronic stress or negative emotions, leading to inflammation and increasing the risk of various health issues. This highlights the profound impact that our emotional states can have on our physical well-being. Furthermore, our thoughts and beliefs can shape our behaviors when it comes to caring for our bodies. For instance, if we believe that exercise is beneficial for both mental and physical health, we are more likely to engage in regular physical activity. By fostering positive beliefs, we can influence our behaviors in a way that supports our well-being. Understanding the mind-body connection empowers us to make informed decisions about self-care. By recognizing the impact of our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs on our physical health, we can prioritize practices such as mindfulness, meditation, or therapy to improve our mental and physical well-being. In summary, there is a powerful relationship between the mind and body. Our mental states play a crucial role in shaping not only how we feel emotionally but also how we feel physically. Recognizing this connection allows us to take control of our health, making choices that nurture both aspects of ourselves. As we move forward to the next section on the role of sleep and dreams in mental processes, we will explore yet another fascinating facet of how our minds function. The end. Thanks for watching this audiobook.